Many years ago, in the times when eagles and cocks flew the skies together, death was nowhere near humans. People could live for ages without getting old or dying. They were never sad nor angry, and they never fell sick. Humans were never worried or envious. At the time, men took turns to rule kingdoms for 12 moons, and then they would pass it on to others to also rule. Everything was good and everyone was happy. Kindness was the order of the day as humans shared everything they had. The good times continued until one day when Shangji became the king of the kingdom of Ampa. His reign began well and there were promises of good times to come. As king, Shangji had the right to marry as many women as he wanted. And as a good king, there were many women who wanted to become his queens, even though he was already married to the strong-willed queen, Muji. Since the day she became queen, Muji enjoyed all the attention that came with her position, and she wanted things to remain the way they were forever. Also, she didn't want to share her husband with any other woman. This was on her mind for many days, but because there was no sadness, she was not sad. Instead, she continued to think about it so much that she could not sleep at night. One night, when her thoughts sent sleep away from her, she decided to take a walk around the town to enjoy the sight of the beautiful kingdom her husband was in charge of. As she walked about, seeing the beautiful streets, great flowing rivers, and well-formed rocks, she began thinking again that in no time, Shangji would no longer be king. He would just be a man with many wives, and she would no longer be queen, just one of the wives of the former king. In the depths of her thoughts, Muji continued to wander into the forest of Ampa, where she came across a man who looked old and with long white beards. She looked all around him, but she did not see any happiness. Nonetheless, he still looked wise and willing to hear whatever she had to say. The man introduced himself to the queen as Utfui, which means sadness. He revealed that he was roaming the earth with his companions: sickness, anger, poverty, envy, greed, and ambition. Lust was still on its way, just as gluttony and the spirit of vengeance. Utfui told the queen that they had been roaming the earth for many centuries, but humans avoided them. Since she was kind enough to approach and talk to him, he was going to advise her on anything that was on her mind, and if she wanted, he would grant whatever wish she had. The queen became very happy and danced round Sadness and his companions. She revealed her predicaments and how she didn't want her husband to have more wives. She wanted to be queen forever, while her husband remained on the throne with no end. Utfui sat quietly for a while, and he smiled for the first time. Mutji observed that smile did not look good on Sadness, but it meant nothing to her. He told the queen that he understood how she felt. "You are a beautiful and amazing woman, who should be the only woman in the life of a king. You should also be queen until there is no time again in the world," said Utfui. "I will help you on 2 conditions." At this point, Queen Muji was excited that help was coming, and so she became willing to agree to any proposal of her new friends. "First," Utfui said, "you will agree to walk with me and my friends forever." The queen was not willing to accept this, wondering how she would be roaming with them without people asking questions. Utfui convinced her that they would never show themselves until she wanted. Also, they would always be there, but people could only feel and not see them. "Well, that's fair enough," the queen said. "What is the second condition?" she asked. Utfui was quiet for a long time, and when he spoke, his voice was uneven. "My second condition is that you must go with me and my companions to the 7th earth, where my friend and master, Mut, which translates to death, is caged since from the start of time. At this point, Queen Muji became skeptical of her new friend because the seventh earth was a forbidden place for humans. You could live a great life through the first earth, have fun in the second, meet great friends in the third, have beautiful life partners in the fourth, get children from the fifth, and pour libation to the gods in the sixth. But the seventh, nothing has been heard of that. Well, if you cannot come to free my chained friend, then you cannot be queen forever. And the king will marry more wives 6 nights from this day, Wutfi said to Muji. Why must I release your friend? The queen asked. Because he is the only one who will help you chase away anyone who wants to take the throne from your husband. He will also take away any woman who wants to marry your husband to a place of no return. He will become your slave and do as you wish, Wutfi said. Now, this sounds good to the queen, and she agreed. The old Sadness stretched his hand over to the queen, and the moment she shook him, she had a feeling of desperation and sadness, things she had never felt before. Wutfi convinced her not to worry. Once the master is uncaged, all her wishes would come true, and she would find true happiness. For the next 3 nights, Muji journeyed with her friends through seas and deserts to the 7th earth, where they met death. He was tired, old, half-blind, and famished in his rusted cage. Wutfi introduced the queen to his master, who agreed to be her slave. And so, she uncaged Death on the condition that he would do whatever she asked of him, and never ask questions. The queen and her party set back to the first earth and the kingdom of Ampa, reaching just when Shangji was preparing to take another wife. Seeing what was happening and taken over by anger, greed, and other bad feelings, the queen ordered her new slaves to take away any woman that would want to marry her husband. He should also take away anyone who wanted to take the crown from her husband. Because Death was acting too slow due to tiredness, age, and hunger, she got angry at him, thinking he was powerless. She came very close to him, challenging him to show her he was powerful using her. Death did not want to disobey since he promised to obey forever. At that same moment, a maid was going into the hall with oil to wash the bride's hair. Death caused her to fall and spill the oil. He also caused the charging queen to slip on the oil and fall. She broke her head, and he took her to a place never to return. That was how Queen Muji became the first human to die. More so, because of Death's promise to the queen, Shangji remained king for a very long time, as all those who wanted to take over him died. He also remained unmarried until he got old, sick, and died. Sadly, even after they were all gone, Death, Sadness, and all their companions continued to roam the earth to this day. If you enjoyed our story, do well to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And also press the notification button for more exciting stories.